radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network.
Well. Good evening, Fade to Black. How you doing? Today is Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. Let's do this, man. Yeah. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Before we get things started, a couple of things. So just let me get into this. First off, ABC has indefinitely canceled Jimmy Kimmel. Holy crap. Yeah. So you can go and read the background on that, and you can go and follow up. I've got zero comments to make. Completely shocked. So ABC has canceled Jimmy Kimmel. The word came out about this about an hour ago. Kimmel was taping his show, right? They walked in and said, show's canceled. Sent the audience home. Yeah, what a way to find out. Okay, so anyway, there's that. And the second thing is this. Our podcast network that handles our stuff, Libsyn, that has been with us, great relationship, by the way. We love Libsyn for, 12 years, 10 years, 12 years, a long time. And the president of the company called me about a month ago and said that they're making changes. I thought, what? I thought it was something else. But equally as drastic. So I just wanted to let everybody know it's actually in motion now. They told me it was going to be fully in place by the end of September. Here we are on September 17th. Okay, so this is what's going on. They no longer are offering their paid subscription service, which is what we were using for years. And it was just $2 a month. I could put any price on it, but I wanted to make it as cheap as possible so everybody could enjoy the show commercial free. So we did it for $2 a month for 10 years, right? Who does that? Well, we do. And it was great. And we got an app and you had commercial free Fade to Black and it was great. And it was a great relationship, but they've stopped that. And so they told me that the app was going to stop updating, and then and you wouldn't be able to update the app or get new shows. And then the app would eventually just go away altogether. You can have it on your phone, but it's not going to connect to anything by the end of September. And I've already got a bunch of emails that it's not updating. Libsyn will be returning your $2 or stop charging you $2. And I think that is starting now. You will get an email from Libsyn explaining everything. Fade to Black is still with Libsyn. They are just moving us over to their Libsyn artist section, and will actively promote Fade to Black. We've got a great relationship on Apple and the other services that they use out there. Okay. We will edit out the commercials from Fade to Black and give them a clean upload, but they're going to commercialize it. Okay. There's going to be commercials on, I'm assuming. I don't know how they do it or how they are going to do it. We are on everything else that's out there. We're on Spotify. We do really well. And we're on another, 20, 30 different podcast services out there. We have a company that handles that for us, but that has always been independent of Libsyn, because with Libsyn, we had our app and everything else. Okay, so the other update is, if you want Fade to Black commercial free, completely commercial free, just become a Fade or Not, become a member, sign up. You can get all the downloads that you want. And then we are, and have been, but now it's been pushed to the front. We will have an app. We will have an app that you will get. And I'm hoping that that's going to be live in the next couple of weeks. And that's it. The app was already pretty close to being done anyway, but we had Libsyn, and there wasn't really an urgency to push that. All right, so that's the big announcement for now. I'll do, or we will, the team here will get stuff out on social media making this announcement. But yeah, I just didn't think it was going to happen so fast, but it is. And everything will probably be done in the next couple of weeks with Libsyn as far as the app goes, and the $2 per month. $2 per month. All right. This week on Fade to Black. So Monday night we had Katie Page here with Snippy the horse. That was a very cool show. Last time we had to cancel. We had technical issues with our guest. But tonight we have Mark Christopher Lee live from the United Kingdom with us, just outside of London, by the way. He's got a new film that's coming out. It is called the Rendlesham UFO, Britain's Roswell. And we're going to be talking about Rendlesham and UFOs this evening. Tomorrow night is our once a month AMAAJA, where you get to ask me anything. And we've got so much stuff going on right now. I cannot wait for tomorrow night, because I get to hang out with all of you. I do have 6 events coming up in 2026, in addition to everything else that I do. First up is the Conscious Life Expo. This is February 20th through the 23rd, 2026 at the LAX Hilton, the biggest conference in the world. I've been hosting it now for 10 or 12 years. So that's February 20th through the 23rd. After that, it's the Contact Modalities Expo, May 1st through the 3rd, 2026 in Delavan, Wisconsin at Delavan Lake at the resort. After that, Contact in the Desert, May 28th through June 1st, 2026. Tickets on sale this Thanksgiving Day. Then I head south to Peru for the Inca Celebration of the Sun, the winter solstice. That is June 23rd through July 1st, 2026. After that, I come back, change my underwear out of my suitcase, and head over to the United Kingdom for the Monty Python Tour of Scotland. And that is August 1st through the 9th. I'm going to get Mark to come hang out with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Come back from that, go back to Peru, and this time it's Peru and Easter Island, and that is November 2026. Kids, I got a busy year next year. All right. So there you go. Tonight, Mark Christopher Lee joins us. He's got a new film coming out, the Rendlesham UFO. We've got, by the way, links to his website that's got everything that he is doing right there. The links are in the description box below, on social media and over on our website. All right, because this new film, which is the full title, the Rendlesham UFO, the British Roswell, is now streaming on Apple TV. He's a British filmmaker for sure. He's a UFO researcher for sure, but he's also a musician with more than 3 decades in the creative and paranormal fields. All right, so his other stuff and everything that he's done is over on his website. And I'm going to do my best tonight to keep as much of the music out of the conversation as I can. But it's difficult. Welcome, Mark. How you doing, man?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks for having me on.
Now, I thought you were on the show before, but you haven't been on. And
No.
It's okay. Dude, I'm old. So which means you get the first time guest disclaimer. Yeah. So let's get that out of the way. Mark, it's just you and I sitting on my couch having a conversation as friends. And where the conversation starts, it starts. Where it ends. But we're going to end as friends. Now you have to accept so we can move on.
Yeah, that's all cool. Excellent.
Yeah, right out. Hey, it's going to be a great conversation tonight. And I'm going to just open with this. This audience knows when I am asked, and I am asked every single day of the year. So, church, what's your favorite case, man? What's your favorite? And I Rendlesham. That's my favorite case. And there's a lot of great cases out there. But Rendlesham is high on my list. So we're going to spend a lot of time jumping into this. But before we get there, what is it about musicians and the paranormal? What is it about musicians and UFOs? Why? What's going on here?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's just pushing limits, pushing boundaries. It's the rebellious side. You know, people tell you, oh, there's no such thing as ghosts or the paranormal or UFOs. And I think, well, you know, there is. We need to find the truth. It's like a quest, a journey, a kind of road trip, I guess, which is what I'm on.
Do you think it has, and I agree with you, do you think that there is also the possibility of, because the mind is open and you are used to getting into the zone, that you open the door to the paranormal as a musician or a poet or a writer?
Yeah.
You know, a painter, a sculptor.
Definitely. I've had my best creative ideas when I've been in that zone, kind of receiving whatever you want, some messages from the universe, however you want to word it, but it being in that frame of mind where you are open to receiving ideas. And I think it definitely like that for me anyway.
Do you remember Graham Bonnet? He was the singer for Rainbow, right? And Alcatraz, and great singer, amazing singer. Some of the greatest rock and roll hits of all time came out of him. But anyway, so he's a friend, and he's been on Faded Black at least once. I'm thinking twice. But anyway, he goes, this is what he said. He goes, so Jimmy, I want to talk music. He wants to talk UFOs, right? Okay. All right. So he goes, man, you know, my biggest hit I wrote when I was living in Malibu, and I'm riding my bike, you know, his pedal bicycle. He's riding his bicycle up PCH, and he sees this UFO flying saucer light up, lights all over it, and come down over the ocean right in front of him. And that inspired him to write this song. And he's telling me this whole story. And he's like, but I've never really told anybody about that. Wow. You know, it's my own personal experience. But he always felt that was done just for him. And I'm wondering, is it because he's open to it, that consciousness plays such a big part, that they make that connection through consciousness and then reveal themselves?
Absolutely. I think that's the missing link. A lot of UFO researchers are not getting, really, is that consciousness is key to it. In my opinion, having been researching it for 30 years, and also to add, I do have a science degree from university, so I'm quite rational as well. But all my investigations have led me to this conclusion, as mad as it sounds, that there is a conscious psychic element to the paranormal and to UFOs. And I think they're both the same phenomena, in my opinion.
Yeah. In the end, we want it to be so complex and so deep and so heavy and so scientific and so understandable, right? We want it to be all of that. And what if we find out it's just some basic bullshit that connects everything together, and it's just one thing, and the next thing you know, everything's connected and all the doors open? That's what I think. It's going to be something very simple.
Absolutely. And I think Carl Jung and synchronicity, kind of opened the door to this. And, you know, over here at the moment, I won't talk about politics. We've got Trump over, okay? He's with the king, having a good time and all that. But King Charles was heavily influenced by Lawrence van der Post, who was an Afrikaans environmentalist, but also he was massively into Carl Jung, synchronicity. So I'm just playing with these ideas that our king is massively influenced by synchronicity, by how things are all connected. and I know he's a passionate man about the environment and things like that and spirituality. So maybe he will be the one that will get us UFO disclosure. Who knows?
Yeah, didn't he? I don't do politics, but I'll do the conspiracy of the monarchy all day long.
Oh, right.
All right. Okay. All right. All right. There's a little disclosure there. But didn't he get? He got the full debriefing on Rendlesham, didn't he? Back in the day, papers were passed around, and
it was the Queen did basically got the full debriefing on Rendlesham, which we do look at in the film a little bit, but basically it was covered up, and we'll go in more into what I think Rendlesham was, I guess, in the show, because there was a cover up by the US and the UK. And at the time, it was Margaret Thatcher was Prime Minister. She was heavily involved, and she was the one that ordered it to be covered up, along with crop circle research. Also, she covered that up as well.
Man, I love crop circles. I still can't figure that out. I don't know if I want to figure it out. I just enjoy it so much. But I have friends over there that each season, send me these pictures and videos, and they're just phenomenal, man. I would just love to go out there for that. But anyway, I get the occasional video of RAF helicopters flying over crop circles the next day, where they're out there looking at these new crop circles, and right here they come. I find that interesting. If they're just crop circles being hoaxed by people, why the interest from the RAF?
Well, yeah, and the royal family. Going back to the royals again, I've got in my last film, The King of UFOs, which is out, you can watch. We got a story about how the Queen sent her own scientific advisor out in the middle of the night to a crop circle that's just been formed in Wiltshire, and a Japanese TV crew were there, and this guy pops out of a black limousine, and it's the Queen's scientific advisor in the middle of the night. So she wanted to be briefed on what was going on. So it's like, whoa!
Wake me up when you get back to the palace. I want a full report. Yeah, wow, that's crazy.
It is crazy.
For you, I'm gonna throw a softball. Let's just start here. Why Rendlesham? Why now? Why this film now?
Basically, because I made my last film, The King of UFOs, and during the process, I met a retired police detective in the UK called John Hanson, and he runs this most fabulous place. You have to go there when you're over. It's a UFO archive in Stratford-upon-Avon, Shakespeare's birthplace, and he's this no-nonsense copper detective. And he's got thousands and thousands of documented UFO sightings. And he's got letters from the king, from Prince Philip, the Queen. And some of them are talking about Rendlesham. And he's actually written 2 books with Colonel Charles Holt. And there's just so much information that he's got on Rendlesham, and I knew about it, but I didn't know so much. There was so much that I didn't know, and John educated me, and he came on board as executive producer. And we wanted to basically not tell the story a little bit about what happened, but then the weird thing for me is that people have been back since then and had weird experiences, seen UFOs, orbs, had things manifest. So I wanted to take my team there and do our own investigation and see if we could find anything anomalous, and we did. So that's
okay. Well, let's circle back to that. That's okay. See, I want to know. Let's hold off on that. I would love your take on your overview on what happened at Rendlesham. Give us your take, your brief version.
Okay, well, for anyone who doesn't know, it was over Christmas weekend 1980. It was at RAF Bentwaters and RAF Woodbridge in Suffolk in England, 2 US air bases as part of NATO. And then basically US soldiers saw lights in the forest, Rendlesham Forest, over that weekend. Wasn't sure what was going on, and various things happened. And they sent out to investigate. Some of the servicemen say they saw a craft land. Colonel Holt obviously famously recorded it on what he saw on his dictaphone. He saw beams of light coming down, craft just shooting off, weird stuff. And yeah, definitely something happened that weekend that can't be explained. And it wasn't the lighthouse that some people have tried to rule out. I've tried all, what the skeptics have told me. Oh yeah, it was the SAS playing pranks. There's various theories that try to debunk it, but it can't be debunked. Something definitely happened that weekend. And if you want me to tell you what it is, I can tell you what it is.
Well, no, yeah. Let's. I'm interested in everybody's take on Rendlesham, because we have access to data. We have information. Pretty much everybody's alive. All the key players. We can talk to them all today, and so everything's there. But what we do as individuals is we back up and develop our own ideas and theories about what actually played out. So that's what I'm asking you. What's your take on it? And yeah, and there's one other thing that I made this revelation about a month ago, and it's just now starting to soak in. Okay. There was another ginormous, huge UFO incident the same night as Rendlesham. Do you know what that was? The same night, involving the Air Force, involving a strange shaped craft. Okay, so what event was that? And when I tell you,
was that the Cash-Landrum?
Yes,
it was. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Cash-Landrum on the same night. Now that's when you got to go with your scientific mind, right, and back up and go, okay, well, that's not a coincidence.
No, it's definitely not a coincidence, and that's something new that I've just joined those dots myself. And it's like there's the Cash-Landrum, and then I don't know how many 10 years later we have a similar type diamond-shaped craft. It's the famous Calvine photo, the one in Scotland. I think they're all linked. I think it's possibly the same technology we're seeing.
There
is no coincidence. No, you're absolutely right.
Absolutely, it is absolutely nuts. And when you think about it, it's the UK, it's the United States, and then what are the similarities between the cases? Strange shaped craft, right? United States Air Force. Right. Health, think about what happened to Burroughs and his health. And look what happened with everybody in the Cash-Landrum case was burned.
Oh,
she had
horrible.
A vasectomy. She had
it's horrible what happened. Absolutely. Yeah. Really feel for those people. And they were getting nowhere, were they? With getting compensation and things.
No, they sued, and the government was like, well, it's top secret. We can't even say if we were involved. And so that was it. The lawsuits went nowhere. But yet this families, there was two families involved, just suffered, for years. But anyway, the same night. Okay, so back over to the UK. When your take, as everybody started to venture into the woods, what do you think they were seeing? What were they chasing?
I think, in my opinion, they were chasing something they were testing out. That's the US and the UK military had developed some sort of EMP craft. And that's what I've been told by, there's a guy called Professor Simon Holland. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Of course.
Yeah. And this, he first proposed this theory because you've got to think about where it was, Rendlesham. It was surrounded by Orford Nest. They had a secret radar station, which is already developing radar technology. And then there was a place, I can't remember the name at the moment, nearby as well, which was a secret weapons testing facility in the UK. So it was in the middle of there. It was at the Cold War. Rendlesham had nuclear warheads. So take the context of everything. I think they were testing out something really, really, really top secret, which is why the Cash-Landrum thing, they weren't getting any answers there. It's been shut down. And I really think Colonel Charles Holt didn't know about this, because he's been very consistent. And I think, they never told him what was going on, which is why he still, doesn't know what happened. No one's told him.
Okay. So why? Okay. So let's say that is the case. Then why come back? Right? Because we have night one, we had stuff that happened on night two. Night three was the big they're back, during the holiday party. And that's when Holt went out there with his recorder and did all of that. Why come back if it was testing of something secret? Because then you're kind of letting the cat out of the bag and it's not so secret anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I haven't really answered that. To be perfectly honest, that's a really good point. I just think there's two. I mean, there is the situation where, because they were developing cutting edge technology, and this goes back to the Manhattan Project, in my opinion, where they wanted to weaponize physics and create weapons out of really, really super advanced science. And this is part of this, I think. And possibly they've created something that's opened a portal to weird phenomena. And it sounds a bit out there, but that's where I'm leading to at the moment.
Doesn't sound out there at all.
But that then explains all the other sightings that have happened since, and all the weird paranormal phenomena that's been experienced by people in the woods, including by John Hanson, this ex-no-nonsense police detective who's been to Rendlesham after 1980. I think it was 1989. He manifested orbs. This is before CE5 was even a thing, or psionics. They got together, did some meditation, and orbs appeared in the woods. Wow. And then, we experienced something unexplained, which we manifested through, using our consciousness. So,
in the woods, you did this in the woods?
We did it, yeah. The same place where, Charles Holt saw beams of light come down.
Now, there's another aspect to this, though, and I'm open to anything. It could be anything, but the other parts about it, when we get to the other side of Charles Holt's story that he talked about later, but not back in the day, was that this craft was seen over the weapon storage area, beaming lights down into the weapon storage area, which he didn't want to say had nuclear weapons or not, because that was against a treaty and whatever, and so there wasn't supposed to be nuclear weapons there. But by just saying that, I think he's implying that there was. That doesn't feel like the testing of something if you're doing it over the weapon storage area. You're revealing yourself, whatever your secret project is.
Yeah, that's a good point. Unless they're using the UFO story as a cover.
Well, that's an easy thing to go to, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm not saying that's,
call it a UFO, and now everybody's crazy.
Yeah. And, there was a lot of kind of interrogations that went on afterwards with people who were there, officers. Quite horrible stuff, I think. So they definitely wanted to control the narrative, I guess.
Well, and it's hard to control. They're going to try, for sure. But it's hard to control when you have witnesses, law enforcement, local law enforcement, townspeople, and the military seeing things all over the area before, during, and after the event. It really hasn't gone away. How many other eyewitnesses have we had to Rendlesham besides the core group?
Yeah, quite a lot. Yeah. I I think also you need to I point out that it wasn't just that weekend. There were sightings in that part of England, in East Anglia, in 1980. Quite a lot of sightings leading up to that Christmas weekend. It wasn't just that weekend. There was similar craft seen in Lowestoft, in Great Yarmouth, further up the coast. So whatever it was, it wasn't just one test.
Wasn't there also, if it was testing, wasn't there radar sensor data too as well? Picking
There
up
was,
stuff?
yeah, it was. So that adds to it as well. I think also you have to take the whole kind of picture really. And I don't know if you remember, there was a UFO researcher, an author, now sadly passed away, Georgina Bruni.
Mm-hmm.
And she spoke to Margaret Thatcher informally at a party about it. And she famously told Georgina Bruni that Rendlesham, you can't, you can't tell the people. And it wasn't aliens. That was her famous quote.
You can't tell people that it wasn't aliens?
No, you can't tell people and it wasn't aliens.
Oh, right. And it
Yeah,
wasn't,
sorry.
Right. Same thing.
Yeah. So why would she say that? She obviously, if it was something really top secret, you couldn't tell the people.
Now, do you think that this was? You mentioned joint, but is it possible that this was a United States secret access program and that Britain didn't know about it?
Yeah,
is that possible?
That is possible. Yeah, that would make sense if it ties in with the Cash-Landrum.
Certainly.
That would tie in with that. Yeah. I mean, I think we have to be honest with this. These are just my opinions and theories. At the end of the day, we don't know. But definitely something happened that weekend, and something is still a mystery. I think it's more erring on the side that it was some sort of secret technology as opposed to an extraterrestrial craft. But, I've got an open mind. There's something weird happened, and weird experiences still happen in this mystical forest. And,
right.
Suffolk's got a long history of weirdness, from Will-o'-the-Wisps, the Lantern Men. You've got the black dogs that have been seen there. People have seen cryptids in the forest. There's a lot.
Fairies, you got leprechauns, you got all kinds of stuff. You got all kinds of stuff. But then if we take a look at the Belgian Triangle UFO wave, which bled over to the UK, and which was not just in Belgium, by the way. And looking back at that in a historical perspective, could have been UFOs, yes. Could it have been ET? Sure, anything is possible. But it could have also as easily been U.S. testing of craft and anti-gravitic technology, and that would that checks a lot of the boxes, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I've come to the conclusion, having studied UFOs, for over 30 years, there's no one single answer to all the sightings we see. It can be everything. It can be a reverse engineered technology. It can be our own technology that we've developed ourselves. It can even be ET technology. It could be intelligences from other dimensions, paranormal style things. It's all of these things. There's no one size fits all answer to the UFO phenomena. I think that's what we need to recognize.
And then, we have the one puzzling, well, there's lots of puzzling parts about this, but John Burroughs, who's been on this program many, many times, and I consider him a friend. And for me to speak with him about this case that I'm so intrigued with, and getting his account, it was chilling every time he told the story. And so when you think about this, when he goes up to the edge of the berm, the edge of the grass, he's lying on his stomach. Peniston is off to his right, and he peeks, right? He looks over the hill, and he's looking into this looking at a craft surrounded with this bright light. But he's looking at it And it's crazy to hear this from him. But that's when he says he looks over at Pennison, and Pennison gets up and walks down to it. This is firsthand accounts. And then Pennison, this is for me the craziest part, is Pennison talking about the hieroglyphs on the outside of the craft. That doesn't, unless I don't know. What do you think about that part of the case?
I've always struggled with that part of the case, with Jim Penniston's account, of the hieroglyphs on the craft, and also him having this binary code download, which he says he wrote down and then translated years later into some sort of weird message about High Brazil and all this stuff. I found that really, really hard to believe, but who am I to say it didn't happen? I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
Same. That's why I brought it up. I struggle with it. I truly do. The point that is the craziest part about it is Burroughs saw him do this. Okay, now it's not like Penniston is making not the binary code that he wrote on the bus, but Burroughs wasn't there for that. But watching him walk down to the craft, Burroughs gives the account and talks about that happening. So what Penniston says he saw, but we have two witnesses to this encounter that back each other's stories up. And that's I just struggle with it. Yeah,
and then like they both had health effects from that interaction, which obviously affected their lives massively. Something happened to them, something anomalous. So, was it our technology or was it something else? I don't think it was a Russian satellite, which has also been thrown into the mix. I mean, what's your favorite theory on what happened?
I think it was a UFO. I think it was ET that came down. My overall take, I like the way you turned this around and gave me all the responsibility for the intelligent answer. But I'll do the best that I can. With all of the debunking that has been thrown at Rendlesham, and to have none of it pan out. It was this. It was a dude driving through the forest in a Jeep. It was the lighthouse. It was a meteor. It was a Russian satellite. It was all made up. They never saw anything. Whatever it is, nothing panned out. Anything that the authorities or the military or debunkers threw at Rendlesham, it simply didn't pan out. All right. For me, what is left? I think a craft came down, and to have two different groups of military, Air Force security people, including Halt, the deputy base commander, to come up on this object and to see it and to describe it. It is what it is. It's not the other stuff that everybody. When you listen to Charles Halt on his tape, when he goes, it looks like a giant eye blinking with molten metal dripping onto the ground, right? That's not a lighthouse.
It's not
right?
lighthouse, no.
It's not a Jeep being driven through the woods. That's not kids pulling a prank. That's not a Russian satellite. That is fun. It's not any of those things. It's simply not. I just don't think educated, my take, security personnel that are doing their job are going to make a series of mistakes like this all the way down the line, to the point where this got written up. The incident report was written and it went up the chain of command. So, if it was a bunch of kids with a Jeep in the woods, then it was a bunch of kids with a Jeep in the woods. You're not going to turn that into something else. That's my take. I think it was. Sure. I think it was ET.
Okay, well, that's good. I want it to be ET. So that's yeah. I mean, I think we should have an open mind still. I don't say it was definitely this or definitely that, but definitely something happened, and it wasn't, like you say, any of those things. You can't debunk it. You can't. And the more I look into it, I make the film, finish the film, do our investigation, and then I find out loads more stuff about it. For instance, I don't know if you've spoken to her, Major Laurie Rayfelt.
No. What happened?
She's really interesting. She was stationed at Rendlesham in 1980, and then transferred away just before this sighting. But she, she's a very credible person. She's a US retired major. And she was young at the time, but she was stationed there. Strange country, first time away from the US. And she said there's a weirdness about that place. And she claims to have interacted with an alien grey at Rendlesham. This is like, a few months before this all kicked off. And I can't, she's very serious about this. She's gone on record to talk about it. And
why was the alien grey there?
It was she found it quite kind of comforting in some way. It was giving her a kind of message that everything would be okay. I mean, it's usually what happens in these situations. But
wait. Okay, now let's back up.
Yeah,
I thought this was a captured alien.
No. It was.
Okay, so no, tell me what happened. What happened?
It was a paranormal encounter. She was guarding some place there at the East Gate late at night on her own, and this thing appeared behind her. And it was an alien grey, and it was communicating telepathically with her. Wasn't there for very long, but then went away. And then she had another paranormal encounter at the same place with a more of a kind of a ghost type figure. And it's, it sounds incredible, but she's quite a serious person. She's gone on record with this statement. And this was, leading up to, the months up to the December sightings. Is that coincidence? I don't know. I mean, she said there was a weird eeriness about the place, a strangeness. And, she does qualify this, saying that she did have some kind of psychic paranormal experiences, back in the US. So maybe she was tuning into something that was there. Interesting, though.
Yeah, I haven't been to Rendlesham. It's one of those things. I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm gonna take the walk through there, take the trail, right, and go.
It's massive, though. It's massive. I didn't realize.
Yeah,
it is. It's a lot of walking. It's great. It's a magical place, and you can feel the history and the significance of the place.
Now, why would Margaret Thatcher say the things that she said, and why would the UK and the government take the stance on Rendlesham instead of embrace it? Why would they do that? Why would they handle it the way that they did?
Well, shut it down and cover it up.
Yeah.
Because we've got someone in the film we interviewed, a guy called Richard Lawrence from the Etheria Society. I don't know if you heard of them, but he was a UFO researcher, and he was one of the first journalists to look at this story once it broke. And he phoned up RAF RAF Woodbridge at the time, and he spoke to someone on the phone saying, phoning up about the UFO sighting. And so he was chatting to this clerk about it. And then basically she was shut down, saying it's classified, he can't talk about it anymore. And she had to hang up. So he's written a statement to that effect, and we interviewed him. So, it was shut down. And then also I've spoken to, there's a crop circle researcher called Colin Andrews in the UK.
Great. Yeah,
he's great. Yeah. But what you probably don't know about him, he was shut down by the Thatcher government for investigating crop circles. He was investigating them for Sir Nicholas Ridley, who was the minister at the time. and he found all sorts of anomalous phenomena that was happening. And some of it, he says was related to possibly what happened at Rendlesham. And he was shut down. He was told to remove stuff from his website. There's one of his books, which is out of print, which wasn't allowed to print again. There's various stuff. There was a video.
What was he talking about that they wanted to censor?
I think basically he found evidence that there was some sort of weird technology going on. Either our technology was creating these crop circles, or it was extraterrestrial. And he did a lot of research for the Thatcher government, doing scientific tests, experiments, giving them the data. Then he would never see it again, and he was told not to talk about it. And he's only told me recently about this because he's getting on a bit.
Did he say what it was that connected crop circles back to Rendlesham?
He doesn't know. He doesn't know, but he just assumes it's the same technology involved. He doesn't know.
Huh, that's fascinating.
It is fascinating, and there's still a mystery to be uncovered. And is there a link between, Rendlesham, crop circles, Cash-Landrum, and the Calvine UFO incident, the photograph? Because that's weird. That's weird as well. I know. James Fox has interviewed the two guys from the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And they just disappeared.
Yeah, I just spent the weekend with James.
Oh, right.
And
okay. Yeah.
I got to tell you, I did like this past weekend, and I love hanging out with him. We're really, really close. And this is what he did to me. So we flew him out to tape my TV show. And he had just gotten back from the congressional hearings. This goes back to the Calvine.
Yeah.
So he just got back from the congressional hearing. We're going to tape this TV show about the congressional hearing and what he experienced there and what he found out and who he talked to, which we did do. Okay. But this is what he goes, "Hey, man, we can do the UFO hearing." I go, "We are? What are you talking about? We're in production." He goes, "Because, man, I want to talk about Calvine."
Excellent.
Dude, we flew you out to get here to do the show. And now you want to talk. He goes, "Man." I said, "Yeah, I'm with you on that, though. That photograph is an enigma." I remember talking to Nick Pope. This is probably 10 or 12 years ago, about the photograph. And he said, "Well, it just disappeared one day. I came in, and it was gone." And then we talked about it again. And then after like the third show we had done on that, the next day it appeared, the original. Right. And was it because of this show? Yeah. It wasn't because of me. It was because people were talking about it, right? And he's back on, and then suddenly there it is, and we've got the original. I remember, and we finally had high-res scans on it, and that's something else that's been attempted to be debunked so many times. Not for sure. So,
and they're also out there, aren't they? They're not like, it's a reflection in a lake or it's a mountaintop.
It's an island. It's an island in a lake, and that's the reflection on the water. I kind of squint my eyes a little bit and look at it and go, okay, I can see where somebody could talk you into that, but that's not what it is. And that's a friggin' Harrier.
That's the thing, isn't it? But it looks very similar to the descriptions given about Cash-Landrum, a diamond-shaped UFO that had a little kind of exhaust thing coming out. So is it linked? I wonder. I mean, I guess with the Calvine, the context with was the Gulf War at the time. So maybe it was secret reconnaissance vehicle from the US going over to the Gulf.
Could be.
Mm.
Here, the thing is about Calvine and other cases like that. The government does not want a picture taken. And these two kids are at the right place at the right time with the camera, and they get the shot. And it's very rare that happened, because most, and you know this, Mark, most UFO sightings are that fast.
Yeah.
You don't have the opportunity to take out a camera or a cell phone, and but by the time you even think about it, the sighting's over. It's over with. I've had incredible sightings that I can't explain. Never shot video or took a picture because the incident was over. You know what I mean? It's done. It's done.
Absolutely. Yeah. So to have that picture is amazing. But yeah, I just wondered what happened to those two young guys. I do worry about that.
Yeah. They probably have had money deposited in their accounts, and they are over in the Maldives and living a good life.
Well, that'd be good. I can live with that.
That's the positive side of it. What about before we hit the break here? With everything that is happening today, we have this convenient word whistleblower that is thrown around constantly. I think that it's misused as well. Its definition, the Webster version of it is somebody that is disclosing criminal acts. Okay, that's a whistleblower. Something criminal is going down. You're going to tell on the corporation or the individuals doing said acts, and you are a whistleblower. Is whistleblower correct when we're talking about UFOs? Is keeping UFOs and ET contact secret, is that illegal? Is whistleblower the correct term to use?
No, I don't think so. Maybe informant. Yeah, it's an interesting point that you make. I guess I don't know.
Well, with you and filmmaking, you've got people coming forward. Do you consider them whistleblowers?
Yes, and they're providing information that they're not supposed to, but there's a bigger truth at play which they want the public to know about, I guess. And morally, they think it's the right thing to do, although technically they could be breaking the Official Secrets Act, which is
So what are they playing out in disclosure? What is their job title? What is their role?
Well, the role is they want to get the truth out to the public because they don't think what the government doing is right. It sounds simplistic, but that's what's happening to the people that have contacted me, and they want to go public for that reason, because they think that great injustice is being done, and the fact that there is this technology that they've witnessed and experienced that has been covered up. And if it is ET technology with anti-gravity or whatever you want to call it, why isn't that made public? And if we have reverse engineered, why aren't we able to use that in the modern world?
Well, specifically, are they from the military in the UK? Are they working for private corporations? Give us an example of who has approached you and what was it that they wanted to reveal?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of RAF pilots that have had encounters with triangle-shaped craft in the UK that were quite kind of dangerous. They could have had an impact. So they're concerned from a defense security point of view but it's been hushed up, and they can't get any answers and told not to talk about it. Basically, that's where they are coming from.
Do they come with? Do they have documents? Do they have stuff to back up their testimony?
They do, yeah.
Like
there's no video, but there's just there is documents from that have, I shouldn't talk about. I've got to be careful.
You can. You're not showing the documents.
No.
You haven't revealed the names of the whistleblowers. So what have you seen?
Well, it's basically it's them asking for information from the RAF.
To do what?
To tell them what happened in their incident, and to disclose what happened.
I'm not understanding.
Yeah, I'm not making myself very clear. And I can we not talk about it? I sounds really lame, doesn't it?
See, but here's the deal, Mark. You make great films. I do great interviews. I will suck it out of anybody. Okay, it is my job.
Sure.
So, if somebody is coming to you, when people come to me with claims, I go, okay, what do you have to back it up? And that's where I start with, and I'll talk about whatever. I don't have issues with that, and I've had very, very, very crazy conversations with some very important people. I don't have problems talking about it. One of the reasons that I don't have problems talking about it is that's the problem with this community. Nobody, no, I can't. No, yes, you can. Yes, you can talk about it. So, Mark, you can. What is it when you're looking at documents? You need to know that the person that you're talking to is being honest. So, when you look at these documents, are these documents legit?
As far as I'm aware, I've got a friend who's in the services who's checked them out and checked out their badge numbers and everything, and they seem legitimate, as far as I can tell.
Okay, so these documents, again, you're being so evasive, but that's not good enough. You're saying that these documents are them, probably some kind of electronic transmission, asking for clarification about an incident that they witnessed. Am I understanding you?
Yeah, I've got some emails. That's the evidence I've got.
And what was the response from the government, or was it the RAF?
There was, I'll find the section. It was a special secretariat that responded to them.
Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. And what was that response?
But yeah, basically they can't talk about it because of national security. They've quoted various acts. So yeah, it was classified basically.
See, and if it was a nothing burger, that would be the response, right? But
yeah,
no, what I'm saying is if it was nothing, then they would respond back with, man, you're crazy. No,
it was, and I've put in my own freedom of information requests regarding the same incident and other incidents, and got the same response.
And this is separate from Rendlesham.
Yeah, but
interesting. What was this at a specific base?
Yeah, it's Lake and Heath.
Oh, yeah. Lincoln Heath, really?
Yeah, I'm saying too much.
Yeah, now we're getting somewhere. But here's the thing about that base, okay, and the sightings around there from farmers, that things have been going on in and around there for a very, very long time. Unexplainable things, and it's not that far from Rendlesham.
It's not, and it's possibly all linked.
See, you think it's linked? Of course, it's linked.
And the interesting
that's
thing
one
about
of the most top secret bases in all of the UK. By the way.
yeah, but there's been a load of activity. You were having your New Jersey drone situation, and we had the same here at Lake and Heath. And I had literally tens of people messaging me videos of what they took at RAF Lake and Heath that was happening. And I've got all the videos. I put freedom of information requests in, getting knockbacks again on the national security grounds all the time. Something definitely was happening there, but also, I'm saying too much.
I love you're squirming, and I love that. But if you don't talk, right, then other people don't talk. You know what I mean?
Without being too dramatic, I'm just a bit. I'm being a bit selfish. I'm a bit concerned for my own safety a little bit, because I know it sounds mad, but I know one of the people that I've been in contact with, who's been sending me stuff. They've been contacted by a man in black, a special agent. I've got their business card, and I'll show you off the record. So it's quite serious, and how far will they go?
It's happening all the time. So this morning, I get up early. All right, I get up early and coffee and ride my Harley, and get my head clear as soon as the sun comes up. And so I get up this morning, getting ready, and I'm checking my local neighborhood watch app. Right, all of us neighbors are on this little thing. It's pretty cool. But check this out. At 3 a.m., I was sleeping. At 3 a.m., there's a message on the neighborhood watch app. And you know what it was? I could pull it up and read it. I mean, there's a lot of things. It says, "Is anybody watching this flying saucer right now?" Right? And I went, 3 a.m. flying saucer. What are my neighbors seeing? And then the next one was, "Those are crazy lights." And another neighbor had said that at like 3:05, and I'm like, "What are they doing up? What?" But I missed it. I don't. Right? I totally flipped. I sat there. I'm drinking my espresso, my little espresso cup, and I'm reading this. I'm like, what? What? Scroll. What? Right at 3 a.m. Is anybody looking at this flying saucer?
Wow.
Yeah, not lights in the sky, not drone. No. Saucer, man. And, I mean, it is Palmdale. It probably was a flying saucer, but it was Lockheed. But yeah, right there. All right, let's take our break. Our guest tonight, Mark Christopher Lee, is here. His new film is called The Rendlesham UFO, Britain's Roswell. More with Christopher when we come back. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Stay with us. Right now, we've got a short break.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get your alerts and access to over 2,000 videos. Click that subscribe button right now. Go to jimmychurchradio.com and get the Fade to Black official podcast. 2,000 episodes, all of them commercial free for just $2 a month. Watch Into the Vortex on Gaia TV. It's Fade to Black for the screen. Simple to do. Go to Gaia.com, search Jimmy Church, or click on the link below. Follow Fade to Black on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Get all of the show updates every single day. It's now called X, but who cares? How you doing? Jimmy Church here. Special announcement. Get your Fade to Black t-shirts. That's right. Help support the show. Help support everything that we do over here. We've got 2 t-shirts. We've got 2 ways to get them. Get your Fade to Black t-shirt today. Go Backley Tappy. Go to jimmychurchradio.com and become a Fadernaut. Get a membership. That's right. Everything is commercial free. You have access to downloads, and you get to call yourself a Fadernaut.
Jimmy Church Guy TV, Fade to Black, here at Machu Picchu with Brian Forrester and Hidden Inca Tours. Amazing tour so far, Brian, but we're here to announce what we're going to do next year in 2026. What's going on?
Okay, November 2026, we're going to have our major tour of Peru and Bolivia, either a pre or post tour of Paracas and Nazca on the coast. And then after that, 6 days in Easter Island.
Bucket list, Easter Island. Come join Brian and I and his amazing team here at Hidden Inca Tours for Peru, Bolivia, and Easter Island. Signing out. Say goodbye, Brian.
Bye, gang.
River Moon Coffee, makers of the Fade to Black blend. Truly the best coffee on planet Earth. Just visit rivermoonwellness.com or their Amazon store. It's all simple to do. You can check out the Fade to Black blend, the Game Changer blend, or any of their Black Moon Wellness products. It's the only coffee I drink. It is the best, and it's Doc. Again, rivermoonwellness.com.
All right. Welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Mark Christopher Lee joins us live from the UK, just outside of London, by the way. And tonight we're talking about Rendlesham. He's got a new film out. It is called The Rendlesham UFO, Britain's Roswell. And the links for all of Mark's work are below, and you can check it out. He has been pretty active in the paranormal and UFO community for a while now, and is also a musician. And you can check out everything over on his website. And by the way, the King of UFOs, really enjoyed that documentary. Can you tilt your camera down a little bit, Mark?
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect. The King of UFOs. What about, we just got off of an incredible congressional hearing a week ago yesterday here in the United States. New video was revealed. It's pretty compelling. I still don't know what we're looking at with that. I've done a lot of analysis of it. But what about the UK? Is there an approach that you guys are hoping for with the government there? Is there a disclosure movement with Parliament?
We're trying to get it started. It's been quite difficult. There was a few UFO researchers that asked me to help. So we've started a UK UFO disclosure group, and we had an official launch a few months back, which went well, got a lot of interest. A lot of people came down, which was really good. And on the back of that, one of the Prime Minister's, Sir Keir Starmer's, one of his friends came to the group launch, and I had a letter drafted for the Prime Minister, which I handed over and was hand delivered to the Prime Minister.
And what did the letter say?
I mean, officially, I haven't heard back, but this friend of Sir Keir Starmer is actually, quite well known, in the UFO circles in the UK, and he's trying to arrange a meeting with someone from the House of Lords from the UK government. But this hasn't happened yet, and I keep chasing for it. So I don't know if it's going to be a dead end. But we had interest from various lawyers over here that want to help. So yeah.
Well, how do you approach that with? I mean, it's been a long road here in the United States.
Sure.
People think that this is just no. We have been pushing. If you go back historically, we've now had 3-4 congressional hearings in the last few years, 2 or 3 years. But before that, we hadn't had anything since 1966. Okay, and before that, when you look at the work of like Donald Kehoe and others throughout the 50s and 60s, pushing for disclosure, not only with the Pentagon and the White House, but directly going straight at the United States Air Force for a very, very, very long time. This was a long road over here, and it took a lot of pushing. You guys are now like where we are. When I was over in the UK last year, and it was an amazing time there because I was hosting a UFO conference in Manchester. But while I was in London and Manchester, speaking with the people that were attending the conference and different fans and things, I asked them all the same thing. Is the UK government handling this issue correctly? And you know what the 100% response was? We don't have shit. we have to depend on the United States and what is going on over there. Our government is not talking about it, and it's just like this wall. Are you finding the same thing?
Yeah. There's still the woo-woo factor over here with UFOs, which you've kind of got rid of in America to some extent. It's just a no-go subject, and it's really, really difficult. I mean, even just a few weeks ago, I was out going for a walk around my local woods, and I met an old friend, and he saw that I'd been doing UFO stuff. He didn't know, and he used to work for the Metropolitan Police in London, quite high up, and he told me he had a UFO sighting. It was a classic Bob Lazar type craft. That's what his words to me. But he made the mistake of telling a few people at his work, and it was just ridiculed. Absolutely just, taking the pee out of big time. So, I mean, that's the attitude you've got. So, and they've got these couple of RAF pilots that kind of want to go public, but there's no safe platform for them to do that.
Is it because, and this isn't, it is the correct word of conservative. Is it just not a Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal view, just a basic conservative view on how government needs to operate? That is why, because here's the thing. All right. And I want you to take this the wrong way. Take this completely the wrong way. Parliament, our vision of Parliament, British, right? See, you guys are nuts. You guys go to blows. You guys are this. You guys are yelling, booing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where I thought that open discussions about things that ruffled feathers was what Parliament was always about. I would think that UFOs brought up in Parliament is exactly what Parliament needs, so they could go, and do their thing. Why is the UFO subjects, am I framing Parliament correctly when I say it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good.
It's just too out there. It's conservative, I guess, is our attitudes to life, I guess. If you're going to talk about UFOs, you have to take the consideration that there might be life elsewhere. And although scientifically we kind of know that in terms of finding these exoplanets and James Webb and all that,
Right,
But
right.
yeah. So it should be coming into the mainstream a bit more, but it's not. It's so slow, so behind the times. We're 20, 30 years behind the US, and
I disagree. This is okay. This is where I'm going to argue with. I'm going to debate you on this.
Sure.
This is why your case doesn't hold water. In that, dude, you've got Stonehenge right up there in the Avebury Plains. You want to talk crazy? Explain that, Parliament. Get down and explain to me that, and all of the esoteric things that go back centuries, millennia with the UK.
Yeah, you are right, but the politicians won't touch it. They won't talk about that. There's very few.
Listen, out in Avebury, man.
The one British public figure that talked about it was David Icke on national TV, and this is a long time. He got absolutely crucified. I'm not saying I believe what David Icke says, but I'm just taking that as an example.
Well, I'm not asking for reptilians and the shape-shifting queen to come up in Parliament.
But, I mean, Jimmy, this is the whole.
But
know. Jimmy, this is the whole reason why I made the King of UFOs film, to try and get that debate going. Because I think, look, we're not taking it seriously, but look, the royal family did. There's letters, there's documents. You know,
right.
I've got letters from the Queen and Prince Philip saying we're going to add this UFO book to our collection. They had a collection of books on UFOs and crop circles.
It doesn't make sense, though. For Parliament, look, King Arthur, Merlin, floating stones, Avebury, Stonehenge, that's okay. UFOs are off limits. It's just like, it doesn't make sense, man.
No.
The Lady of the Lake, Excalibur, right?
Yeah,
that's okay. That really happened.
And the
UFOs,
Joseph of Arimathea coming to Glastonbury with the Holy Grail. Yeah,
exactly, man. Rosalind Chapel, all
I mean,
the covenant.
I think the way to go maybe with through Freemasons. There are quite a lot of Freemasons in this country, because it just reminded me of Rosalind Chapel being a big Mason thing. And they've got, they're into esoteric knowledge, secret knowledge. So maybe that's the way to go. And I've actually been contacted by some Masons in the UK about one of my last films, nothing to do with UFOs, but maybe that's the way to go. And the other angle I had with trying to get UFO disclosure going was talking to Robbie Williams.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, I know Jeremy Corbell, and I'm trying to get him to, get Robbie on board and all this.
Robbie is close, man. He's such a big celebrity.
Yeah, I know.
And he's been pretty, for being a celebrity, he's been pretty outspoken about the subject. And then I also hung out with, oh man, I'm brain freezing right now. What's that? Oh man, what's that TV series, that science fiction TV series in the UK? Not Doctor Who, the other one. About the spaceship and the crew. Come on, it's the biggest series.
Star Trek. No,
it's the comedy. No, it's a comedy.
Red Dwarf.
Yeah, Red Dwarf. Yeah. So I hung out with him for a weekend.
Oh wow, excellent! I like. Craig.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh,
he likes to drink though.
He's just so brilliant. He comes up in back of me. I don't see him, and he leans his head right between my shoulders and goes, "Fade to black." And I turn around and it's him, and I go, "Dude," he goes, "Man, I am such a huge fan. Can we talk?"
That's sweet.
And I ended up, I interviewed him on stage in front of a very large crowd. But it's people like that in the UK that I think really support this. And not only Craig Charles, but Robbie Williams is somebody that would really help this. And maybe Parliament would, do they do hearings like they do here? They don't, do they?
No, there's nothing. There's not absolutely nothing that's happened.
No, I mean, does Parliament? How does testimony come from witnesses about any issue? Do they do it
if they're having an inquiry into something? So, I mean, I've spoken to Nick Pope about this because he's kind of our unofficial spokesperson. Not spokesperson is the wrong word, but advisor.
Mm-hmm.
He's our unofficial advisor, and he, said to us, we need to take the approach that go to Parliament and say, this is of defence significance. There's no point going there and saying, oh, this is about life on other planets and how it's going to raise us all to higher levels of vibration, all that stuff. You've got to go for the hard. This is of defence significance. We need to take it seriously. So I think that's the approach we're going to have to do, which is why it's important to get these whistleblowers involved. And I just wanted to, because I've just drawn the letter up about the email, and it's Air Command Policy Secretariat in High Wycombe in Buckinghamshire. That's the place that's closing all this down. I'm happy to go public with that. And they're closing it down under Section 24 of the National Security and Section 26 Defence, Section 27 International Relations. So which obviously got to do with the US, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we're not getting anywhere. So I just wanted to share that.
Well, clarify what that actually says.
Sure. I'll read it to you. So basically, because I was putting in a request about this incident that happened to these pilots. And they basically sent a response back, quoting various sections of the National Security, National Defence Acts and international. But also, if it was in the public interest, they could release the information, but they're saying it's not. It doesn't meet all the criteria for the public exemption test.
Wow.
Basically, so we're not going to get a response. And they said, oh, if you're not happy with this, you can email this place, which is what I did, and nothing came back.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, that's confirming. And okay, so with these RAF pilots, the hearing that we had last week, where we had 4 members of the military, but one, Wiggins, is active. He's in the military. He's in the Navy right now.
Yeah.
And his testimony was, not only was it powerful, but you have to consider what he is doing. He is in the military, sitting in front of Congress, swearing under oath, right?
Yeah.
But he's got to go back to work, right?
Yeah.
He's got to, and that's why his testimony is so powerful. Which your RAF guys. More pilot, who are the best witnesses that
this
we
is
can
it,
bring
yeah.
forward? Yeah, are pilots in the military, and doesn't that pave the way for future RAF pilots to come forward?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, that's why we've had some interest from various lawyers that are happy to help, which is probably the way it's going to go. Obviously, they're going to help for free because they're interested in this subject, and so that's a possible route as well. I mean, I'll keep you in touch over what happens.
Yeah, and you should.
I mean, this is the first time I've gone public with this, really. So I'm a bit wary, but
no, don't be. See, that's the point, though. That's the point. I have, I've got a few attorneys that I'm in touch with, and they have told me that when it comes to UFOs and stepping forward as a whistleblower in that capacity, that those whistleblowers don't have any idea what to do, how to navigate the system, how to approach. You can't you can't sign on to the internet and go, okay,
click a button,
whistleblower, UFO attorney, how to. And then there's also the expense of doing that, and they don't have any idea. So I've got a few attorneys that are doing just this pro bono work.
Yeah.
and helping these whistleblowers navigate the system and what to do, what paperwork to follow, and how to stay protected, and moving forward. But this is now something that is being discussed, and it's never been that way before. You're doing this now too as well, and it's tough.
It is tough, yeah, and especially you've got full-time jobs as well, and you're trying to navigate something that's not been done before, but taking the lead from the US, and Nick Pope's been helpful, but we need more people to come on board, and it's very much just a grassroots thing at the moment. But then, I had this discussion with someone the other day. Maybe that's how we're going to get disclosure anyways, through social media, through all the videos being leaked anyway, and maybe we don't need governments to give us disclosure.
Well, what was interesting, before I say what I'm going to say, what about the British media and the BBC? How are they dealing with this issue?
They're not. They just they don't cover it. Which is obviously, I've got the Rendlesham film out, so they've covered it because it was at a major film festival in London, which helps. We gave it some credibility, but then it's also kind of part of history in Suffolk. So the BBC Suffolk covered it. There's a small article on the website, but you won't get any mainstream news coverage for UFO stuff at all. It's really, really difficult, which is why I do most of my interviews in America, because you take it seriously, which and we appreciate that. But getting any mainstream press, I mean, it's the tabloids do pick it up, but only in a kind of jokey way.
Yeah, when I was interviewed by the BBC, and the journalist that did the interview, she was nice. She was cool. They had a pretty big team, multiple cameras, and so we sit down, and she wanted, I don't think they aired it, the interview, which and I'll tell you why. She wanted drama.
Right.
She kept asking me the same question. She asked it 5 times. That's what you do, hoping to get a different answer, right? I've been doing this for years. I'm not stupid. But when I didn't give them the sensational, over-the-top drama, I was just speaking the truth and very matter of fact about where we are in disclosure right now. But when I could tell, and it was a half hour, that I sat and talked to them, and I walked away. And they we shook hands, everything was fine, all of that. I think they got faded black T-shirts, and everything is fine. But I walked away from that going, that's not what they wanted, they wanted little green men and this and alien bodies on ice and whatever it was that they were trying to get out of me. But I didn't give them, I didn't give them drama.
Yeah, they want the cliches and the just so they can laugh at it, I guess.
And play the X-Files music.
Yeah, that's what always happens. I do
have a laugh. Yeah.
I've done so many BBC local radio interviews now where they'll start with the X-Files saying, "Oh God, here we go." But actually, I'm really lucky where I am in Hertfordshire, BBC Hertfordshire. There's a really good journalist called Roberto Peroni, and he's really into Rendlesham. He's an amazing guy, and we'll talk seriously about UFOs, and he thinks we should be having this proper conversation in Parliament. So he's a good champion. So I definitely recommend him.
Have the documentaries that have come out lately, and you can throw yours in the mix if you want, but are they approaching this subject in an honest way? So many of the documentaries do go full woo, but But are the media companies out there being responsible with the subject?
I think mainly in the US. In the UK, there's no coverage at all. To be honest, I think the what was the one that premiered at South by Southwest? Age of Disclosure.
Yeah,
which is not out yet.
no.
They covered that because it was South by Southwest, but not much. But no, we don't get any coverage. All I see is what happens in the US, and you got James Fox's excellent the program. I think they covered that pretty well. And my excellent PR company based in America. So yeah, it's all happening your side. We need a revolution in the UK. Come on.
Yeah, I know. Is the public seeing what they need to see on this subject? That is always, even though James Fox is the exception to the rule, because he's really, really good at what he does. And James as a person, I'm really close with him. James as a person, who he is, comes through in his films. That dude is passionate, passionate, and it comes through in his films.
Yeah.
Other documentary filmmakers are doing it for clicks and fame. They're not doing it for passion.
Yeah, absolutely. James is the one kind of true, genuine truth seeker, I guess. But in ufology, and I see this in America, it seems a battle of egos, and it's like everyone's getting their little piece of territory and trying to be the one that gets disclosure. And I don't know, I find it a bit disheartening, really. And I'll say something because I know various people. I won't mention names, so I'll say, "Well, this person said this," and they don't trust them. And I'll say the same thing to them. "Oh, don't trust him." I like to be friends with everyone. It's like you have to pick a side. You have to pick a team. I don't want to do that. Leave me alone. And that's what I'm up against.
I have spent so much time, way too much time, with people trying to convince me who to talk to and who not to talk to. And just on and I just roll my eyes. And I have literally said to, if I gave away names of who I've said these words to, people would freak out that I would speak this way. But my response is, I'm an adult and I'm allowed to make my own mistakes. So I'm going to go out there and do my thing. Do not tell me, and do not try to, you do your thing. I'm going to do mine. And if I get burned, I get burned. But you've got to go out there and I'll give you an example. Check this out. I am filming with James Fox. We're on location and I'm watching him. We are outside the gates of a top secret facility. And behind the fences, you can see the guard gates. You can see the guards watching us, armed. Two different guard posts, one over here, one over here. And they're watching us. And James, and I'm sitting there, and I'm not going to be a part of this. Somebody's going to get arrested. And so I'm watching James in a black SUV with his sound guy in the back seat with a big boom and his microphone, and his camera guy in the front seat. James is driving the SUV, circling around these gates with the guardhouses in front of ginormous 10-foot signs that say no video. Right? You will be arrested by deputy, warning, warning, warning. There's signs all over and he's driving, and they're watching him like, look at this fool. I'm watching, and I'm sitting there with his sister Kelly, producer of the film, of the program, of all his film. I'm sitting there with Kelly on this curb in this parking lot watching this, and I lean over to Kelly. I swear to God, this is what comes out of my mouth. Does he have bail money? I'm not bailing him out. He's about to get arrested. And she goes, I don't think we do have bail money. But the reason why I'm bringing this up, that's who James Fox is. He will just let it all hang out. He's this guerrilla filmmaking thing that he does is for the community. He puts his own self secondary. He's trying to get to the answers, and he has been in weird situations like that over and over again throughout the years. And that is a real director, documentary filmmaker that approaches it that way. He didn't give a crap. I was watching him, man. I was like, man, this is gonna end bad. And we did it like 4 times over those couple of days.
Oh, that's great.
In a really bad situation. We were outside of Edwards Air Force Base. Okay. We're right there at the South Gate. And we're filming underneath signs, and we thought it was funny. I'm not in the film for this very reason in these locations, because I don't want people are going to see this film. They know that I live here. So I don't want to be the guy. So anyway, but we're out there, and across the street, right across the street, underneath the tree, is a frigging Air Force security SUV with the lights on it, watching us.
Wow.
Right there. And I'm like, man, guys, and James is like, man, let's drive. Let's just go straight towards it. I'm like, man, I'm going to follow you, or you get behind me, put some distance between us. But he didn't care. We pulled out that, man, they just whipped right around and it was crazy, but he doesn't give a crap. And that it comes across in his documentaries.
Yeah, it does.
We need more of James. I know I just did a big long pitch on James, but it's that attitude, your attitude towards this is what the public needs to see. They need to see that side of it. I think it's very important for the public to see something very honest and something that they didn't know what was going on, and to learn something.
Sure. The one weird thing, well, a couple of weird things happened when we did the Rendlesham film, because we went to Rendlesham to obviously do our own experiment, have our own CE5. We didn't charge them any money. We just went there, did some meditation, and then we manifested something.
What happened?
We didn't expect to. Oh, we kind of did. We wanted to. We had a kind of open minds. We went with the right attitude, and we kind of just sat down and meditated for a bit, sat still. This was, and basically as soon as we did this meditation, pretty much straight away, we heard a really weird electronic noise, and it was buzzing in the woods, and it was bouncing around the woods. And this kept going on, and it was kind of a repetitive pattern. It was like do you remember the Doctor Who theme, Delia Derbyshire synthesizer thing? It was like that, but in the middle of the woods, bouncing around, and there was no one there, and we couldn't find the source of it. We went into the woods. It was getting dark. We saw orbs of light flash around, and it's all it's all in the film, and it's all as it was. We didn't edit anything. We just kept it. And it was like, whoa, something weird is going on. So that was really, really weird. And then so we filmed it, and then we got home, and then the next morning, I literally had an orb, a UFO over my house. My wife saw it, managed to get a bit of it on my phone, and it's like, was that a coincidence? Did the thing, whatever it was, follow us back home? It was like, whoa.
Yeah, I love that one. See, I love. There is something about when I hear from other researchers or whatever, okay. But when I hear directly from somebody about their experience like that right there, that I really appreciate. I mean, I soak that stuff up. When it was going down, was that the first time you've had an experience like that?
it was the first experience. Like I've had other experiences, but this was definitely the weirdest, and it was just the timing of it as well. Because we had a plan what we're going to do, find the spot where was the most suitable. And sounds a bit hippyish. We used dowsing rods to find the spot.
Mm-hmm.
So we had dowsing rods, and then it was spinning around. Okay, we're going to do it here. So we sat down, put the picnic blanket down, and did it. And as soon as we started, the noise started. It was instantaneous. But I guess the weird thing for us was because we took some advice, because we were using CE5, basically Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, which I was always a bit skeptical about. But I spoke to a really lovely lady in America called Ray Dove. I don't know if you've spoken to her before. But she's got these protocols, so we followed those, and she told us, whatever you do, don't drink alcohol, which is fine for me. I'm teetotal now after my rock and roll years. But my partner in crime, Guy Thompson, my co-presenter, he does. So he was drinking Guinness all day. And, it's great for the film. It's a rock and roll road trip to Rendlesham. A few stops on the way, end up at Rendlesham. He's still drinking. So I think maybe him drinking alcohol brought out different aspects of whatever we manifested, because there was a slight threat to it, I guess, an uneasy feeling, and we were warned about that, and that's what we had. And so we had this strange electronic noise which we couldn't find. We had the yaws of light, and then it was too dark, so we turned off the cameras, had to find our way back to the car, which took flipping ages, an hour and a half walking back to the car park. But and then we heard this really, really weird howling, like a werewolf, for want of a better word, and it just scared the crap out of the crew. Matt, my co-director, he was just really, really shook up by it. And it was just like, there are no wolves in England as far as we know. It wasn't a dog, it was something else. It was like, where did that come from? Was that coincidence? I don't know.
Every time I've done the CE5 protocol correctly with a group, nothing.
Right.
Every time that I've done my protocol, mine, which is laughter.
Sure, that's good.
Pastrami sandwiches and Van Halen.
But if it raises your vibration, that's good, isn't it? So, yeah.
Skies light up.
Need some Eddie Van Halen to absolutely.
I just, and because it has worked every time, then that's pretty much what we do now. But I'll tell you why I think that it works. We are cool. Right? That's a cool atmosphere. Laughter, fun, right? Cracking some jokes. We're not being dicks. You know what I mean? We're not going, man, nothing's going to happen, or whatever. We're not being that. We've got Van Halen, happy music, right? We've got good food, and we've got a good attitude. And I think that's a really, really, really good combination. I'm not saying that the kumbaya and the meditation with the music and somebody walking through a meditation and breathing and eyes closed. Okay, that may work for group. It's never worked for me. I don't understand that. And I've done so many CE5s,
Okay.
But
I mean, what first got me into it was this ex-police detective, John Hanson, because he said he went to Rendlesham in the 90s and did this. It wasn't called CE5 then. It was just hanging out with your mates, a bit like you, and being still and quiet. And he says that basically what happened to them, they saw orbs of light, some of which they got photos of. But then also the weirdest thing for me is, like he said, stones just dropped out of the sky, thudded on the.
Oh, that's nuts. That's nuts.
Absolutely nuts. It's called a ports, is the technical term, but they just came straight out of the sky, and he went to get them, and they were like hot. These rocks were hot. And he had them.
I did a CE5 once. We had about would say 40 of us did the whole thing.
Wow.
Meditated, we got the alien
Mm.
mood music going and all of that. Okay, no ships were called in, but you know what did happen that was frigging insane?
Mm.
A bright, low, flaming meteor.
Oh, wow.
Right over the top of low flame. Yeah, it was crazy. It was big. So I gotta tell you, when that happened, I don't know what kind of mothership would have had to have come in to top that, because that was pretty cool. All of it just stood there. And it lasted for quite a while, like maybe 10-15 seconds, just flaming low too, man. You could just see it was nuts. So I don't know if we called that in, but the timing was suspect. It was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I've spoken to people who've been to. There's a guy called Philip Kinsella. He's
great.
Yeah. He's great. He's in the film, and he went to Rendlesham and did. It wasn't called CE5 again. It was, this is in 2000, I think. Did his little meditation thing, and he saw a pyramid-shaped UFO appear, and he ran towards it and couldn't get there. And it was really
him and his brother
Ronald. Lovely.
They're great.
Guys.
They're great. They're great. So cool.
Yeah.
Now, with your role in all of this, you've got your company and you've got the multimedia aspect in approaching this. What are you working on now? And obviously the film currently, but what's in the future?
Yeah, a couple of things. I'm developing a TV series, which we want to do, which is like a UFO road trip around the UK, going to the Crop Circle, Stonehenge, Avebury, doing the Loch Ness, things like that, the Holy Grail, searching for that. I wanted to do a film or an episode on that, and just developing that idea, really taking the rock and roll road trip around the UK, exploring weird phenomena.
This is what I was going to say earlier. I was at a friend's farm in London, outside of London. I told you about it earlier, but I'm out there, and he said that I go, so dude, you got any crop circles on your property? He goes, man, I got a couple of tombs. I said, what? I got burial mounds. I go, what, on your property? He goes, yeah, I've got two. He goes, but out here, you can't buy a piece of land without something on it like that. There's megalithic stuff. And I said, really? He goes, dude, yes. And this wasn't, I'm laughing about it now, but he was just like, no, man, you buy a piece of property and you're going to have something on it. And I've got my two things here. I've got two mounds that are ancient. I don't even know how old they are, but they've got rooms and I didn't go see them.
Wow.
But he said there's something like that on every piece of property in the UK.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. It's all. I mean, I'm into kind of ley lines and earth energies, and I'm pretty sure it's connected to crop circles. I know we mentioned them before, and before people go off, I know a lot of crop circles are human made, and they're still fantastic. But the weird thing about the human made ones, people still have weird experiences in the human made ones. And I spoke to, I don't know if you've spoken to him, Dr. Simeon Hine.
Oh yeah, of course.
He's great. Yeah, he's great, and he's a crop circle researcher. But he'll say that there's, even in the man-made ones, there's strange effects due to vortexes, and it's weird. Yeah.
What do you make of all of this action that we have right now with interstellar objects and these massive things? And now we've got this new object that's coming in strangely at the same time as we have 3-eye atlas.
Yeah.
What do you make?
I mean, I've spoken to Professor Ravi Loeb quite a lot over the last month. I know him quite well, and obviously he's the one that's proposing his Loeb scale of 0 to 10, where 0 it's definitely a comet and 10 it's a spaceship. Let's prepare. So he's investigated it seriously with the intention that, you know, we should be alert to, you know, the possibility that it could be a scout or something coming through. Oumuamua came through our solar system. This is the third one now, isn't it? That's come through. And then like the new one you just mentioned, the Swan thing.
Yeah, S2.
Yeah, S2. And then someone said somewhere that, you know, Graham Hancock proposed that this was the one that came 22,000 years ago, that broke up into pieces, and then one of the pieces started the Younger Dryas in 11,900 years ago. So there's all that added to the mix, and you know, a lot of New Age people saying, well, these two together, this is a beacon, a signal, is going to change our vibrations and all this. You know, we need it changing, I think.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Well, one of the things I was talking about this last week about 3-eye atlas for the very reason that you just mentioned. Damn it, we need a distraction. We need something to pull us out of this crazy spot that the entire world is stuck in. And it's not just any country or any one thing. There's drama happening all over the place. Crazy stuff. And we need to get off of that focus, out of the negativity and into something else. And 3-eye atlas, and now S2, is giving us an opportunity to, you know what I mean, to think about something else.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, the world is so polarized everywhere. You know, something that's going to bring people together as opposed to, which is what we're seeing everywhere, isn't it?
Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great if 3-eye atlas turned out to be artificial?
Oh gosh.
I mean, that would just it would make things like the stupidity of Ukraine, the stupidity of Gaza, the stupidity of killing people, anybody, the stupidity of religions and not the stupidity of it, but the fact that we fight each other over that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, borders and lines and map, all of that just becomes so stupid and insignificant. There is no significance to it anymore if suddenly we have an artificial an ET object coming through our star. That would change everything.
It would change everything. It would change how we view ourselves. Yeah, definitely would. I mean, we'll probably find out on October the 3rd when the high-res image is taken, apparently. But, you know, Avi Loeb's still saying there's a 40% chance that it is artificial.
Well, Avi's a good dude. Okay.
Yeah,
I know him quite well. I'm not bragging. I just know how honest he is. And I've sat with him, right? And when he looks in your eyes, right, and says, I'm just about the data, man. I comment on the data. Yeah. Well, that is so the data is telling Avi some pretty crazy stuff, isn't it? The data is, you know, when you look at his book, Extraterrestrial, and what he wrote about Oumuamua and all of the points that he brought, it all data driven. His conclusions are based on the data, right? Well, when we look at this, now he says 1 in 500 chance or whatever. I think those he's but that's anyway,
trajectory, isn't it? Yeah.
That this is on our elliptic, man. That's crazy. Interstellar. Space is pretty big. Do you know what interstellar means? It came from out there, right? Space is the big, and for the size of everything, for this object to come in, pass us on our elliptic, go around our sun, and come out the other side. What are the odds of that?
Yeah,
that's crazy. The universe is too big. So, yeah, I'm with Avi on this one. There's a possibility that this was intentional.
But you are right with Avi. He does data. He doesn't do conspiracies. He's just, he's a science dude.
I've tried. I was sitting next to him one night, and I said something stupid. I said something really stupid came out of my mouth. Like, so what do you think of the Nordics or whatever, man? Something stupid came out of my mouth. And he goes, I swear to God, man, he's like mid-bite into some lasagna or something. And he's like, church, I'm going to stop you right there. No. I was like, what about Travis Walton? I'm all about the data.
That's good.
It was, I can't believe I said something. So what about what about Queen Elizabeth? No. And but that's what for him in his position, he has to walk a very fine line. But I think he would really enjoy bringing something forward about ET and life in the universe, and he would really enjoy that moment. Yeah, and he deserves it.
Yeah, definitely. Top man.
Yeah. Well, when you're at Harvard or any university, can you imagine? Cambridge, Oxford, right? Some crazy old established school. And you're a 10-year professor, and you come out in that conservative academic atmosphere. You're going, okay, man. So my PhD student, right, is going to write a paper on Atlantis and aliens. You can't do it. You know what I mean? We're not there yet. We're not there. But Avi is getting very close to being in that position, and he deserves it because he's taken a lot of chances for this community.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So where can everybody follow everything that you are doing?
You can follow me on TikTok at the King of UFOs. I'm on X as well, the King of UFOs. Best places to follow me at. Thank you.
And Nub Film, right?
Yeah, nubfilm.co.uk is the website where we can see what I'm up to. Thank you. I've got a few books out on Amazon as well. One about Rendlesham, the Rendlesham UFO, the British Roswell, which is all the different theories about what it was, including our own. So, yeah.
And you've got trailers up on the website too.
Yeah, there's trailers out there as well. And more films coming up. I'm quite prolific, so watch out.
Thank you so much, Mark. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for staying up so early in the morning out there in the United Kingdom, my friend. But we'll do it again soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jimmy. Yeah, appreciate that. Take care.
All the best.
Cheers. Bye.
Mark Christopher Lee, and it is nubfilm.co.uk. We have the links below, very simple, over on our website and throughout social media. And everything that you need to follow Mark and his work is right there. All right. So there you go. Tomorrow night, we're going to wrap up this week here on Fade to Black. Tomorrow night is our once a month AMA AJA, where you get to ask me anything. So great show tonight. Thank you, Mark. And to everybody else, I'll see you tomorrow right here where you get to ask me anything. Until then, all I've got is go backly tappy. Fade to Black is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee Newman, and Michelle Freed. Special thanks to Bill, John, Dex, Jessica, Dennis, and Kevin. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music by Doug Aldrich. Intro, Space Boy. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2024 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Go back, Lee Tappy.